Hey friend, how are you? I am very, very good. I'm so good because, well, to tell you the truth, I'm recording this podcast one after the other because this is a long story that I cut in small pieces so that you can follow me with ease. So yeah, I've been recording you the past two podcasts right before this one, so I'm kind of like, this is coming to the climax of it, to the apex, and yeah, I'm so excited to tell you. So yeah, you remember I just got invited by life and by this incredible woman to the immersion of CAP, of the Kundalini activation energy that I feel so much in my body, still buzzing, still calling me to go further, learn more, integrate deeper. So the CAP immersion is happening 1 month from now, or 3 weeks, I think. So I still have time, So in the meantime, I'm just flowing with my life, continuing to understand this energy, facilitating for myself, or more surrendering to the energy in my living room on my yoga mat, putting some music together, talking with my friend Anya about it, and just trying to uncover all the secrets of energy itself, and being really two explorers about it. And something happens. It's the first thing of like a series of whoa thing happening. So I don't know how it happens, but again, invitation, synchronicities, I am invited to facilitate again a second time to friends of mine down in the ocean. At the ocean, because if I did it in the ocean, it would be weird, but you know what? We can try. But yeah, this was like next to the ocean. Anyway, irrelevant, but fun. I love the ocean. So yeah, I go down to Uluwatu for those who knows, because Uluwatu is the best. And I just go to my friend's place, and there were 3 of my friends to whom I facilitate, 2 men and 1 woman. So I tune into this energy again, prepare the space, call in the beautiful Kundalini energy to come into the space and to do the work it's supposed to do, to work within the best interests of each person present and to bring them, activate in them what is ready to be activated. And I am just surrendering humbly to the energy and being completely just the turning fork. I'm not the doer. I'm just the help. The help to transmit the energy here. So again, a complete new experience. The energy was very, very strong. I was extremely high. And this is the only word that matches what I feel in those states. So I was extremely high. I could feel the energy so intense, so powerful, ready to be lived by the persons there. So the session goes really amazing. Again, I learned a lot. I'm even less in my mind than I was in the first session because, of course, the mind is like, what are you doing, Sophie? You didn't train. What are you doing? You don't know anything about this. So following your intuition is absolutely wonderful in my experience. But yes, the mind is kind of like trying to make sense of it when it's not rational. There is not a sense to find. So yeah, mine was very present on the first facilitation, and the second, it was way less. So it was very interesting to flow into that. So the 3 people receiving the energy really surrendered. It was beautiful. But actually at the end of the session, we were sharing a little bit. And the woman felt everything. I think she lived quite the same journey that I lived the first time. She was really resonating with the energy. She was so ready and surrendered, or I don't even know how we can call this, but yeah, she really fully received the experience. Then one of the men received it, I think in a more gentle way. And the other one said, I didn't feel anything. What's wrong? What did I do wrong, or what is wrong here? And in that moment, I tried to, of course, guide him and bring him some guidance of my understanding of the energy. So that was interesting. But then I went home. And that moment, when I went home, my mind was like, what did you do wrong, Sophie? It's your fault if he couldn't access or feel the energy, the beautiful energy you really wanted to facilitate and to transmit or be a channel for. So yeah, it must be my fault. I did something wrong. I was really blaming myself. And I was also, that was like my ego. And there was this heart in me saying, hey, it's okay. Everything is always perfect. Every experience is meant to be. And I don't have the full experience or understanding of the energy. So maybe I just don't know every piece of what happened. And yeah, maybe I just don't know. And that's not on me, and that's okay. But still, my mind was like going crazy and I needed some help. So I went online and I was starting to look for anyone really on YouTube that is doing the same thing I do, that has been called by the energy and is trying to facilitate intuitively or just follow their intuition into the exploration of the energy. So I go online, and honestly, there's just a few things about this because it's not famous yet. It's taking a lot of bigness. I don't know if that's a word, but yeah, it's really not broadcasted yet. But there it was, only one person on YouTube talking about it, and talking about it big time. Like that person, a guy, a man, is making, I don't know, hundreds of spontaneous videos of all of his exploration of the energy of CAP, of the energy of inner dance, which is a similar process, of all of his energetic exploration and experiences. And he's making like a vlog journal about all of it in so many details. Oh my God. So I started watching so many videos, and he's like giving me answers to so many of my questions. And this person is, has done so far 40 CAP sessions. I had done 2 at the time. And already all of this happened, right? You remember all of this divine alignment and this facilitation and this calling and these incredible synchronicities where even my facilitator, my teacher, is feeling the calling I have, and all of these 2 sessions. And the guy has done 40. I'm like, whoa, impressed. This person must have a lot to teach me and to talk with me. So he's not facilitator yet. He's just exploring, right? And I can see that he's training to facilitate inner dance, which is similar process. So I just write a comment on this video where he facilitates a session, and I'm like, hey, are you doing it also intuitively? Because I am, and if you want, I'd love to talk about it. It's like the me who's super confused and just is looking for a friend to, hey, do you want to share the exploration path together? Can we be explorer together? And this person answer me, I think, straight away, and offers a Zoom call the next day. I'm like, yeah, please. I mean, we are talking the same language. We have the same passion. This is absolutely amazing. Let's do a Zoom. Next day you arrive and we go on Zoom. And something happens. I don't know. Something happens. This person and me are so similar. We really are from the same soul family, if you believe in that. We share some of the same energy types. We share the same passions, the same curiosity, the same heart and love, actually, the same intentions, the same kindness. And wow, we just talked for like 3 hours. It was absolutely amazing. This talk turned into an interview that's actually on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out. Turned into an interview that he was doing about me because he was so interested by the way I live my life here in Bali. And then I could really ask some more questions about this CAP exploration. And this helped me and him so much. Like, it was so amazing to find each other. It was like a recognition, of a friend that you have known forever. You just didn't know him. If that makes sense. So yeah, that was such a beautiful connection. Wow. So during this call, we are talking a lot about surrendering, because this process is all about that, surrendering. And when you facilitate what we learn, because we are starting him, just like me, to facilitate energy transmission, we are talking about how to surrender to the facilitation without having expectations for our clients and the people there, without having expectation for anything really to happen. Because I find it very easy actually to surrender when I'm on the mat, but when I facilitate, my mind is going crazy. So we talk about surrendering quite a lot. It's all about that, this teaching, this energy to teach us to surrender to life, to the flow, to the divine alignment, to allow it to happen and not control it, not control the plane. The plane, don't control the plane, you're not a pilot. No, what I meant was no need to control the plan or decide the plan, you just need to allow it. So that's called surrendering. This whole energy transmission is about that. All Kundalini activation, surrendering to ourselves, the purest essence of us, surrendering to the life. And during this talk about surrendering, he mentions, the way that, or the one time that I surrendered the most in my life was during one psychedelic experience with the medicine called Bufo. It's like, oh, cool, never heard of that. Or maybe I have, I don't know. I really don't know what it is. And I'm like, oh, cool, this is interesting. It doesn't explain me more. He just explains what he saw. He was like, yeah, I was really not surrendering when I took the medicine. And then something shifted. He was feeling this pain in his chest. And like, he was struggling, he was resisting the medicine to do its work. So in resistance, the chest was hurting. But then at some point, it was hurting so much, he had just to let go. And when he let go from his heart, everything dissolved into oneness, into the I am consciousness. So he mentions that, and I'm like, whoa, that's very interesting. That sounds absolutely wonderful, actually. I mean, I'm looking in ways or the house to surrender even more, That was very interesting. Anyway, Zoom is fabulous, and we end it here. And that same night, I go to a conscious party here in the ocean, to my friend's place. So we are gathered with 100 people. We just dance with cacao, sacred cacao in our drinks. And we just have a lot of fun. And there is this one person that I hadn't seen in quite a while, that I knew last year. We have a moment together, we connect more, and we talk about our latest experiences. That was the same night that I was talking with the YouTube guy, right? And he told me about the Bufo experience. Well, that night, this person I'm connecting with is telling me, whoa, 2 weeks ago, or last week, he said, last week, I did a crazy experience here in Bali. I did something called Bufo. I'm like, whoa, Bufo? I just heard that today. What is it? Then he starts to explain, just very, very rapidly, like very large explanation. I was like, okay, wow, that sounds like a very intense journey for you, huh? And he was like, yeah, it's still integrating. It's like very powerful. Yeah, he seems kind of shaken about it. And my curiosity is officially piqued, because now I actually remember where I heard that word. And the first time was a few weeks ago by my dear friend, a dear friend I have here in Bali. She told me that she did the craziest experience of her life called Bufo with this person here in Bali. And so I had the contact of the person actually, but I just didn't remember any of this. And then in the same day, I got the second and then the third confirmation of that same word, Bufo. And talking about surrendering, talking about CAP, talking about everything that is so present in my life. And that's it. At this moment, I feel like, okay, I need to get the contact again and text that person that is serving Bufo. And just have a chat with her and see where that goes. This is clearly an invitation, and it's all about surrendering. It's the process I'm on to. So, let's just say yes to life again and again. So I text the person, and I just start talking about, I think I'm down to do a Bufo ceremony. The next day, on Sunday, I go to the ecstatic dance in Ubud, and then Sayuri lunch with my friend, and then kirtan, and I don't know what. The whole day. It was so beautiful. And then I was hanging out at night with my friend Anya again. She was about to leave, actually, Bali for indefinite period. 4 days later, on the Thursday. So we are together in the restaurant, and I mentioned to her, oh, you know what? I texted a person. I think I'm going to do a Bufo ceremony someday. And she said, oh my God, I need to do it before I go. I was talking about it. I had a calling. I know I have to do it, but I only have 3 days. So we're like, oh my God, what are we doing? This is so amazing. We're like super pumped on each other, and we're like, okay, this feels so right for me. It feels so right for you. Let's text the person and ask that person to meet us and see if we can book a session for all of us, both of us, before you go. So within 3 days. So we text the person, that person answers the call directly. And the person says, I'm coming to you guys. Let's have a meeting now. So the person comes, we do the meeting about everything, like safety-wise, the things from our past, like traumas and stuff like that, see if everything is okay. And the person feels that it's right. She feels that we have a calling, and yeah, she can feel it just like we do. Again, we have no fucking clue what this is. We just have a calling, and we trust life so much, especially since CAP, because her, like me, we've been experiencing so much of divine alignment, like you know now. So we have to trust it. It's just a bunch of miracles, one after the other. So yeah, the person feels this way. And yeah, the person invites us to come on the Wednesday, the day before she leaves. Anya. Oh my God. So we're like, okay, in 3 days, it's set up. We are doing Bufo. You have to know something before I end this conversation with the person serving. My friend who did it the week before with the same person told me I paid 300. When I heard that number, I heard 300 IDR, which is equivalent to 20 euros. So I hear that. To me, it was very clear that he paid that. I don't know. Now it feels very silly because I know what it is. And it's not worth 20 euros in this word. So yeah, I know how silly it is. But at the time, I didn't know because I didn't know anything. So I really, genuinely heard 20 euros. So to me, there was not even a possibility that it was not that. I heard that. So my friend Anya knows about that, and everything was in order. So the conversation goes great. We have both our session on Wednesday, one after the other. And at the end of our conversation, the person says, so it's 300 per person, $300. She leaves. And then with Anya, we're like, oh my God. We are so silly. We had no idea. How? Because honestly, in 3 days, how do we find these $700? I mean, in 3 days, we didn't have that kind of money for that now. Anya had to pay for her flight tickets. I had to pay for my, how's it called? My rent. So we literally don't have that money on our accounts at this moment. How do we do that? How do we find $700 in 3 days? We started brainstorming and trying to find ways to make sense, figure out a solution. How do we make that amount of money? Because to us, it felt so weird that this happens, that canceling was not even an option, because life put all of these messages, guidance, signs, and synchronicities onto our path, both of us, to lead us to that moment so that we can experience this Bufo thing. It didn't make any sense that arriving at the time, after answering all the calls, saying yes, we don't have the money to do it? What? It doesn't make sense. So we were kind of frustrated and just figuring it out. Okay, let's be creative. How do we find that? Long story short, after 1 hour brainstorming, it was just frustration and no solution. So we're like, okay, you know what? Let's just go home, sleep on it. And tomorrow, because we trust life so much, tomorrow, we will have a solution for sure. So we say goodbye. We go home. go to my house. And you remember that new friend, incredible soul friend that I met through YouTube, that we spent 3 hours on Zoom the day before? Well, we have a chat about our days, and yeah, he asked me how I am. So I tell him, and while telling him, I'm telling him the Bufo synchronicity, since he told me, and everything that happened in just 2 days, and that we have now this amazing challenge on our hands with Anya of making this happen, because life is showing up for us. We have to show up for her. So yeah, I just tell him that, just talking to my new friend about my day. And there it is. The miracle of life. That incredible person sends me a text and says, "Can you send me your PayPal address? I will send you now $700 to you and your friend so that you can do Bufo on Wednesday." I'm like, what? What did you just say? What? I start like pacing in my hotel room, just like going crazy. No, he didn't say that. What? Did he say that? No. And then he's like, "Yes, I'm currently in a cafe. And when I heard your story, I just felt a wave of love in my heart. And I just knew I had to do this for you guys." Oh my God. Oh, what words for that? What words for this amazing generosity, this amazing answering to his own heart calling, life speaking through him allowing it to speak, and us receiving fully. Oh my God, that was just it. That was just like one of the craziest synchronicity miracles that I experienced while being so divinely guided. That was just like confirmation of, oh wow, we are so ready to do this thing we have no idea about. So I was crying of joy, crying of gratitude of how is this possible? Like, this was always and is always a big wish of mine. When I have the financial freedom to do that, I truly want to help people when my heart calls me to. Without asking for anything in return, just out of kindness and, helpfulness. And this person was just embodying that, exactly that wish that I want to be when I can actually, when I have the resources for. Whoa. That was just, in so many levels, that meant so much. It was not even about the Bufo, even though life was showing me and us that, it was time. And there was no way around it. But on so many levels from my heart, it was so beautiful to witness, to experience on so many levels. On my own abundance, on my own belief that the blocks are lifted, that I'm allowed and I deserve all of it, that it can be easy, that it doesn't have to be hard, that it can flow, that it just flows, actually, it just flows all the time. That generosity is real, that people can actually reach that level of connection to their intuition, connection to life, that level of giving. It was a true miracle. So I texted Anya crying so much. Oh my God. The most beautiful thing happened, Anya. An angel just gave us the last thing we needed to accomplish this new mission. I'll see you on Wednesday for the experience that was going to change our lives forever.